Good morning, student. Today we are going to discuss about the numerical on the law of conservation of energy. In this first numerical, a 1 kg collar is attached to a spring of stiffness 250 Newton per meter and can slide freely without friction on a circular rod in a horizontal plane. Spring is undeformed when collar is at B. Knowing that collar passes through point D with a speed of 1.8 meter per second, determine the velocity of the collar as it passes through point C and point B. So in this numerical what happened? So this is a spring and this is a collar. Now this is a horizontal circular rod. The spring is rotating from B to C, C to D. Again it is coming to B. Like that its motion going to take place. So from the given data, the collar has a mass of 1 kg and spring has a stiffness of 250 Newton per meter, and you have given the velocity at point D as a 1.8 meter per second, and you have to calculate the velocity of the collar at point C and at point B. So initially, as the whole motion is take place in the horizontal plane, so there is a no gravitational energy. So only there will be a kinetic energy and spring energy. So initially they have mentioned the rod is horizontal plane and there is no change in heights because the motion takes place in horizontal, so there is no change in height, so gravitational energy will become zero in this case. Now in this case they have mentioned that the collar is at B, undeformed, the spring is undeformed when collar is at B. So undeformed length of the collar at B. From this is the original position of the spring. So this is the undeformed length. So how much is this is undeformed length? I am going to calculate this undeformed length. So as per the given data, the radius of this circular plane is nothing but the 300. From 300 I am subtracting this 125 mm, so I will get OB, that is the undeformed length of the spring. OB is nothing but the undeformed length of the spring. So 300 is nothing but from this position to up to center of the horizontal plane, minus 125 means from O to this center position. So I will get OB as a 175. So this is the undeformed length of the spring. Now as per the point B, C, D, I am going to calculate the deformation of the spring. Now the spring is undeformed at in the length OB, so deformation of the spring at B, that is I am considering XB, is nothing but the it is undeformed up to position B, so it will become 0. So deformation of the spring at B is nothing but the 0. Now I am going to calculate deformation of the spring at C, deformation of the spring at D. So deformation is nothing but the change in the length of the spring. So for that at D I am calculating the deformation of the spring. So for D position, total length of the spring will become from this position, this 125 plus 300. This will become total. Total में से I am going to my subtract from total length this OB distance means undeformed length. So I will get the deformed length of the spring. So 300, this is radius, plus 125, this is the total length of the spring O to D. Now from that I am subtracting the undeformed length, which I have calculated as a 175 mm. So minus 175, I will get the deformation of the spring after it reaches to point D, is nothing but the 250 mm. Similar way I am going to calculate the deformation of the spring at C, that is XD. This is a C point, this is a vertical, this is a horizontal, so this will become the spring length up to point C. So total length of the spring up to means will become the 125 square plus radius square, that is 300 square. So this OC distance will be equal to 120 square plus 300 square. From this length I am subtracting the from this total length OC, I am subtracting the undeformed length of the spring, that is 175. So I will get deformation of the spring when it reaches to point C is nothing but the 150 mm. So I have calculated the deformation of the spring at B, C and D. Now I am going to apply conservation of energy principle to calculate the velocity at point C and velocity at point D. So initially I am applying the conservation of energy for point D and C. So kinetic energy at D, initial kinetic energy at D plus initial spring potential energy at D equal to kinetic energy C plus spring potential energy at C. There is no gravitational energy, so I am considering kinetic energy plus spring potential energy. So for kinetic energy at D, you have given the velocity 1.8, half mass 1 kg of the collar 1.8 square, plus spring potential energy is nothing but the half k x square. X square is nothing but the deformation of the spring. So half k for the spring is given as 250 Newton per meter, and x square is nothing but the deformation of the spring is nothing but the at point D 0.25 square equal to kinetic energy at C half m vc square plus spring potential energy half k x square. Half k is nothing but the 250, x is nothing but the potential deformation of the spring at point C is nothing but the 150 mm, so it is nothing but the 0.15 square. So after simplifying and calculating, I will get the value of Vc as a 3.64 meter per second. So this is the velocity of the spring at point C. Similar way I am going to apply again law of conservation of energy for D and B point. So for again I am applying D and B point. So again spring kinetic energy at D plus spring potential energy at D equal to kinetic energy at B plus spring potential at B. So I am putting the D value, kinetic energy and spring potential energy for the D equal to half on VB square, but spring potential energy at B, so it will be half k x square, but deformation at point B is 0, so x value is 0, so this spring potential energy will become 0. So I will get the value of VB as 4.34 meter per second. So in this way I have calculated the velocity of the spring at point C plus at point B. Now I am going to discuss the second numerical of the law of conservation of energy. So in this case they have given you a simple pendulum as shown in figure is released from rest at A with the string horizontal and sink downwards under the influence of gravity. Express the velocity of the bob and tension T in the string as a function of theta. Means I have to find out the relation between the velocity and tension in terms of theta. So you are given the pendulum here. So initially the pendulum is at position A in a rest position. After that I am releasing it from this position, so it will sink in the it will move in a downward direction. It will sink like this. So after reaching point B, what should be the velocity and tension relation in terms of theta? So if this bob will reach at point B, it will move like this. So I am just drawing the free body diagram for the position A and position B for the simple pendulum. So if you see here, this is nothing but the length of the string. This is a pendulum. Now after dropping the pendulum from this initial position A, it will follow the path like this. So at B point there will be a centrifugal force that will act away from the motion. So it will is nothing but the mv square upon L. So this centrifugal force is balanced by the tension in the string. So this is the tension. Now this is a L, this is a theta. Now to calculate vertical distance, so this will this will become L sin theta. If you take opposite side and hypotenuse, this will become L, length of the string. So this opposite will become L sin theta. Now this is theta, this is 90, this is 90 minus theta, this is 90 minus theta, this is 90 minus theta, but these two are making an angle 90 here. So 90 minus theta, this must, so this will become automatically theta here. So mg will make an angle theta with the direction of motion. Now this is the weight of the simple pendulum will act vertically downward. This is the direction of motion, that is the tangential component of the motion. Motion is mat, and this will be directed toward this fixed point, is nothing but the normal component of the motion. So now I am applying summation of Fn equal to 0 at point B. So T, so for one direction I am considering positive, other will be automatically negative. So T positive I am considering, the other direction will be negative. So minus mv square upon L minus, next this making an theta mg. So one component will be in this direction, which is nothing but the mg sin theta equal to 0. So this is equation 1. Now by conservation of energy at A will be converted into the energy at point B. Means energy at, by law of conservation of energy at A must be equal to the energy at point B. But at position A, it is at a height of L sin theta. So it will, at position A, it will have a gravitational potential energy. So, and at point B, it is in a motion under the gravity. So it will have a kinetic energy at point B. So mg, h is nothing but the vertical distance. So it is at the A position at a height of, from this reference point, L sin theta. So mg into L sin theta equal to kinetic energy at B equal to half m into v square. If I am going to calculate the v value here, so I will get v as a root of 2gl sin theta. I am putting this value in this equation, that is v square. So after putting, I am taking t term on one side and other term on right hand side. So this is m by l. V square term is nothing but the 2gl sin theta plus mg sin theta. Now L and this L get cancel here, so it will become 2 mg sin theta plus mg sin theta. You will get T equal to 3 mg sin theta. So this will be the relation in T and theta. So we are going to discuss now the third numerical on the law of conservation of energy. So in this case, a 8 kg plunger is released from a 600 mm height onto a nested springs. Outer and inner spring have a constant of 4 kN per meter and 12 kN per meter respectively. Calculate the maximum deformation of the outer spring. So in this case, you have shown here the nested spring means one spring inside the other spring. Here two spring, this is a one and this is another spring. Okay, now the plunger is released from a height at a distance of 600 meter from the outer spring, and the outer and inner spring have a stiffness constant 4 kN per meter and 12 kN per meter. I have to calculate the maximum deformation of the spring. Suppose I am considering the outer spring. So this outer spring is compressed by X. Suppose after falling the 8 kg plunger, the outer spring is compressed by X. So the difference between the outer and inner spring is nothing but the 990 mm. So this inner spring, so by initially this outer spring will compress simultaneously as they are nested to each other. Inner spring will compress. So deformation in inner spring means both are compressed simultaneously. So deformation in the inner spring will be is nothing but the total deformation of the outer spring. I am consider it as a X minus the difference between the two springs. So it is given the difference in the height of the two spring is nothing but the 900. So it will become the compression of the inner spring as a x minus 0.09 meter. Now if you by law of, now I am going to apply the law of conservation of energy. If I see here there is a vertical difference in the height, so there will be a gravitational potential energy. Also there is a spring, so spring potential energy. Also it is falling from some height, so means it will have some kinetic energy also. So now I am applying the law of conservation to the initial position and final position. So what I am doing here, I am taking the final position as a reference line. Suppose it is the outer spring compressed by x distance, so this will be a x position, that is I have already considered the outer spring is compressed by x meter, so this is a final position. So initial height will of the plunger will become 600 plus x compression, means so the height of initial point will become, means this plunger will become at a height of 600 plus final position up to which it is compressed. So I am considering x, so the initial height of the point is nothing but the x plus 0.6. Now I am putting one by one value, that is kinetic energy 1 plus gravitational potential energy 1 plus spring potential energy 1 equal to kinetic energy 2 plus gravitational potential energy 2 plus spring potential energy 2. Now I am releasing this 8 kg from a 600 meter height. So initially it is at a rest, after that it is releasing. So initial kinetic energy is 0. Now gravitational potential energy, so it is at a height, I have considered the initial height from which I am dropping the plunger is x plus 0.6, means m is 8, g is 9.81 into height x plus 0.6, that is a gravitational potential energy. Spring potential energy at initial position, there is the plunger is not touching to the spring, so there will be no deformation in the spring if spring at this initial position, so there will be no deformation. So spring potential energy is nothing but the formula half k x square, so there is no deformation, so spring potential energy will become 0. Now reaching to the next, this is initial energy. Now initial energy equal to final energy, so final kinetic energy 2. So after falling the plunger on the spring here, what happen, it will, the plunger at final is going to stop, means its kinetic energy will become 0 after falling on a plunger. So kinetic energy 2 will become 0 here, equal to 0 plus gravitational potential energy. So I am taking the final point as a reference, so for that height is 0, so gravitational potential energy at that position 2, at the final position, because I am taking the final position as a reference and this is the initial position, so for final position height is 0, so that is why gravitational potential energy 2 will become 0. Now the spring potential energy, as we know there are two springs, so there will be a two spring potential energy, one is for the outer spring, another spring energy for the inner spring. So outer spring half, stiffness you have given 4 kilonewton, I am converting in Newton per meter, so 4000 into deformation in the spring, so I have considered deformed by x, so I have put x here. For inner spring half, stiffness 12 kilonewton per meter, so I am converting it in Newton per meter, so half into 1200, and deformation in the outer spring is nothing but the x minus 0.09 square. So I am just simplifying it. After putting all the value, I will get the x, this is a quadratic equation, So I will get the value of x2 value here. 1. So initially I am writing the initial value x equal to 0.1435 meter. That is 143.5 mm. Now the other value of x is 1.317 into 10 raised to power minus 3 meter. Means it is in mm 1.317 mm for the value of x. So this is another value of x 1.317. If I want to calculate the compression of the inner spring, so it will become x minus 0.09 meter. Means you will get the minus 0.089 meter, which would mean that the inner spring will elongate. But as I have considered the outer spring will compress side by side with the outer spring, the inner spring will compress. So I am getting minus value. So because of that, this second value of x which I have got 1.317 into 10 raised to power minus 3 is not possible when plunger is falling on the spring. So your answer, that is for the calculate the maximum deformation of the outer spring, will be 0.1435 meter equal to 143.5 mm. So now I am going to discuss the next numerical on the law of conservation of energy. A double spring bumper is used to stop the 7500 Newton steel billet in a rolling mill. Full stop. Determine the stiffness K1 equal to K2 equal to K equal to K1 equal to K2 of each spring, so that no spring is compressed more than 0.06 meter after it is struck by the billet traveling with a speed of 2.4 meter per second. Full stop. Neglect the mass of the spring, roller and the plate A and B. Refer figure. So in this case they have given you a steel billet which is rolling on the roller. So it is moving with a speed of 2.4 meter per second. After moving with this speed, it will strike this spring having a stiffness K equal to K1 equal to K2. So for this spring I have to calculate this stiffness value, that is K value. So in the given question they have mentioned that no spring is compressed more than 0.06. So maximum compression by both the spring is nothing but the 0.06. So I have writing the statement here. Both spring will be compressed by 0.06 meter in the final position of the billet when it come to rest. So I am applying the law of conservation of energy. So in this case what happened? This steel billet is moving at a speed of 2.54 meter per second, means it has a kinetic energy. It going to strike this spring, so because of that it will going to compress. So means in this case what happen, this kinetic energy will get converted into the spring energy. So by law of conservation of energy, kinetic energy half m v1 square equal to half k1 x1 square plus half k2 x2 square. But as you have given k1 equal to k2 equal to 3 and v1 value is 2.4 and you have given the weight of the steel billet, so by dividing weight by 9.81 I will get the mass. So half 7500 divided by 9.81 into velocity is nothing but the 2.4 square equal to half k1 is nothing but the I am putting as a k x, as in both the spring the stiffness is constant, deformation of the spring is nothing but the 0.06 meter, so I am putting the 0.06 meter square plus again half k 0.06 square. So I will, after calculating, I will get k as the 6.116 into 10 raised to power 5 Newton per meter.